What's happening, family? It's another beautiful day out here, and I just had a little something on my mind today. God has been dealing with me on the subject of accountability, and I wanted to ask you guys a few questions about what you think accountability is. So I have 3 questions that I want to ask, and I'm gonna answer the questions myself, but I also want you guys to answer the questions in the comments for me. First of all, I'm gonna give out the definition of accountability. Accountability is of a person, organization, or institution required or expected to justify actions or decisions, i.e. responsibility. So my first question to you guys are, who are you accountable to? For me, it's God, then myself, my spouse, my children, my job, my parents, siblings, friends, etc. The people that I live and I deal with on a day-to-day. My next question is going to be, why is accountability so important? And again, for me, accountability for me is the checks and balances of your life, the ebbs and flows. If you make a bad decision in your life, then the accountable part of you should be able to recognize the wrong and fix it. The fix isn't always, to me, going to be quick, and sometimes it does require a bit of corrective action. But if you hold yourself accountable, the consequences, as long as they're within reason, should be respected, right? That's how I feel. You know, we all are accountable to some people. We're not always right. Sometimes we have to right our wrongs, and sometimes with those righting of the wrongs, we have to be accountable. It's consequences that come with that. So my third question is, what does accountability mean to you? For me, accountability means to be in good standing with everyone I encounter, including myself. And if I do something that disrupts that good standing, I find a way to rectify it or reason with the person on why that good standing was altered. So basically, if me and that person had an issue and I go to that person about that issue, sometimes we're going to come to a place where we have to agree to disagree. It's not going to always come to a resolve, but if we respect each other and we hold each other accountable, then we respect that. What that does in terms of accountability, it kind of creates a freedom of trust for you and the person that you're accountable to. Y'all trust each other because you know that no matter what, no matter whether you're right or whether you're wrong, you're going to understand that there's going to be an accountability piece that goes with that. And we have to deal with that accordingly, right? The first thing that I'm going to jump into today is just that I'm going to talk about me. The moment I started to respect and deal with accountability differently, that was because of God. When I truly started to accept God for who he was, and I truly respected his place in my life, and I allowed him to take complete control of me and all things dealing with me, I noticed that a lot of things about me started to change. The way I talk, the way I trust, who I talk to, what I put in my body, and most importantly, it changed who I'm accountable to. That is probably one of the craziest things about accountability. When you accept God for who he is and you allow God to start doing mighty works in your life, your accountability partners begin to change. So I want you guys to think about your accountability partners. And I want you to ask yourself a question. How often does your accountability partners change? If you continue to lose close friends, fall out with family, and you're always having to double back and kind of rekindle a relationship, you're lacking accountability somewhere in your life, because it can't always be the other person's fault. Sometimes it's you. So if you're always falling out with people, or if everybody is always messing with me, or always getting on my nerves, and it's always somebody else's situation, You have to start to look at where you're going wrong and what you're missing in terms of accountability. Now, one of the things that I had to learn, and it took me a long time to learn it, was some of the people that we're accountable to, they don't want to see us grow. They want us to remain the same because it's comfortable for them. They want that relationship to stay exactly where it is. They want you to continue to be the exact person that you was. But God don't care about your comfortability. That's not what he's called us to be comfortable. He's never called us to be comfortable. He's called you to do great and mighty things. And in order for those things to be done, you're going to have to change who you're accountable to. That's a conversation that some of y'all ain't ready for. That means we're going to have to let some people go. Some of us are accountable to people who are corrupt in their spirit, their mind, because that person is charismatic and they're popular, we feel we hold an allegiance to them. We're witnessing, if y'all watch the news and y'all seeing what's going on, we see right now our ex-president has just been convicted of 34 felonies. And he has people right now that's riding or die for him, willing to do whatever, go hard for him. It's because he lacks accountability. It's always someone else's fault. Everybody else is the problem. It's never him. You can't continue to hold allegiance to people who never accept accountability for their actions. It's going to lead you down a dark place. And we've seen it happen. So I have to ask you, you got to start asking yourself a question. Are the people you're accountable to you? Do they show up for you the same way that you show up for them? When you win, are they celebrating with you or are they side-eyeing you? Start to pay attention to people when you begin to win. Start to see how they act, how they distance themselves, how they never have a good thing to say about you. When your celebrations are happening, how they never show up. Sometimes we got to change who we're accountable to. I don't know if a lot of y'all probably watched the movie Talladega Nights. It's probably one of my favorite movies. If y'all noticed, when Ricky Bobby was winning, Cal one day came to him and said, "Hey, Ricky, maybe one day you can allow me to win one of these races." And Ricky laughed at him. He laughed at him. Eventually, when Ricky was down and out and he was trying to come back, he was trying to get his life back, he had to apologize to Cal for not allowing him to win, for not respecting his talent the way that Cal respected his talent. Some people y'all owe an apology to. It's some people that you have watched lose time after time after time, and when they begin to win, you didn't like it. That's a problem with accountability. Accountability partnership is a partnership for a reason. It's a two-way street. The same way that I'm accountable to my wife, she's accountable to me. The same way that I'm accountable to my friends are accountable to me. We have to make sure that the people that we're accountable to are accountable to us. When you begin to make changes in your life and the person that you're accountable to is always bringing up your past, it's probably a time to let that accountability with them go. Your growth is bothering them. And if you want to keep growing, you gotta let them go. We're not here to be doormats. We're not here to be somebody's beat up stick. That's not what we're here to be. We're here to be accountable to those that are accountable to us. And ultimately, we're here to do God's will. I pray that you receive this message the same way that I received it. And I want you guys to know that I love you all immensely, intensely, and unconditionally. I pray you guys have a wonderful Sunday. God bless. Take care.